Ladies and gentlemen, for coming out here this afternoon. As Lockie said, just want to make a brief statement at the start, and as I said to all you guys that were here when I arrived back from England, the last 10 or 12 days for me has been a lot about reflection, looking back to the Ashes and looking forward to the rest of my playing career, my playing future. And over the last 12 days I've thought long and hard and spoken to a lot of people about me going forward, and as of today I've decided to retire from International T20 cricket. The decision that I've made is all to do with my longevity in the game. As I said when I came back from England, I'm really passionate and committed to being the best player that I can be for Australia for as long as possible. And over the last couple of years I've found it increasingly difficult to play all three forms of the game at the level that I want to play them. So, as I said, looking at International T20 cricket, I've looked at the programs for the next couple of years. Probably within the next 12 months alone, I'll probably look at having an extra probably 4 weeks off, which will give me an opportunity to get away and make sure that I'm ready to go for both the test matches and one-day cricket that we have ahead of us in that period of time. So that's the decision that I've made. I've spoken to the coach, I've spoken to Michael Clarke, I've spoken to the selectors, and obviously spoken to Michael Brown and James Sutherland at Cricket Australia about the decision that's been made. So yeah, as of today, that's the end of it for me for 2020 cricket. I'm looking forward to getting over to England tomorrow and joining the guys. We've got off to a great start in the one-day series. I'm looking forward to being a big part in the last 4 games over there and hopefully bringing something away from what has otherwise been a reasonably disappointing tour of England. So thanks for coming. Yeah, I do still have 1 year remaining on my Knight Riders contract, which I'm very committed to upholding. I stepped away from that last year to make sure I was in as good a shape as I could be for the Ashes. The way things are looking for this year, there'll be a chance that the Australian players will be available for the last probably 4 or 5 games of the IPL. So I definitely intend to honour that contract and look forward to working with the Knight Riders going forward as well. And I mean, the coach and Michael Clarke are obviously very aware of how hard and difficult it is becoming to play all 3 forms of the game the way you want to play them. So they can definitely understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully we'll all see the results and the benefits from me having an extra couple of weeks off. Look, I definitely feel that I've still got a lot to offer the 2020 game. But when you factor in an extra 4 weeks of international cricket, it has an effect down the track on the other forms of the game as well. I think it's, you look at even the way I started this last Ashes series, going in nice and fresh and making 100 in the first game and sort of almost going downhill through the series. I want to make sure that doesn't happen for the remainder of my career. So I want to give it the best possible chance I can to be as fresh as I can for every one-day game and test match that I play for however long I play for. And I think having the extra few weeks at home will give me a better chance to do that. I think everybody's been looking at the calendar for a number of years now. It's just so difficult with 2020 being as big a game that it is around the world now. A lot of our programs are locked in for a lot of years in advance, so there's not much that we can do about it. It's about finding ways and means as a team and as individual players to get through each game and each tournament in the best way you possibly can. I mean, we pay a lot of attention to that around the team, to the point where we have a lot of physical testing now before most games just to see where guys are at, and even before training sessions to see where they're at as well, to try and map out and plan out the week's training for us. So it's something that we've been talking about for a long time, and I think the authorities around the world really are starting to look at it very closely now, because I think sometimes it can actually have an adverse effect on the game, because the public can get a little bit sick of the game as well if it's overplayed. So it's been a tough 12 or 18 months for us, and we've got a few busy months ahead. But once we're through that, then it starts to ease off a little bit. An international calendar as far as Test cricket's concerned, I just really hope that the West Indies have their issues sorted out by the time it's time to come to Australia, because none of us want to be playing against a second-rate or a B-grade West Indian side. We want to be playing against the best sides all the time and the best players all the time. So let's hope that that's sorted out. And if it is, I think Australian fans over the years have really enjoyed seeing the West Indies team out here. So hopefully they get their best out here. And even with Pakistan, they're unpredictable. They're a very good cricket side, and I'm sure the Boxing Day and New Year's will be pretty jam-packed to come and see Australia and Pakistan play as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot, everybody.